Hey guys, it's the Coaster Crusader, and today I'm going to be reviewing Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. Now, this is the second installment in the film adaptations of the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. Now, I have to get a few things out of the way. Number one, I'm a huge fan of the book series. I've read all the books many times. They're some of my favorite books. I love the concept of combining Greek mythology with modern times. It's very, very interesting. They're some of my favorite, one of the most creative series I've ever read. I'm a huge fan of the books. So we all know that the first movie was definitely in the top 10 worst movies ever made. It was just one of the worst films put together. Everything about it was just so bad. There was no positive elements in that film, and it was just nothing worth seeing at all. So I was very, very nervous when they announced that they were making a sequel based on the second book in the series, obviously, and I was pleasantly surprised. So the story of this one, if you haven't read the book, is that Luke, who is the antagonist in the first one, poisons the tree that controls the border to Camp Half-Blood, endangering all the Half-Bloods inside. So Percy, Annabeth, and Grover, and a new character named Tyson decide to. Obviously, Percy is a son of Poseidon. Annabeth is a daughter of Athena, and Grover is a satyr, and Tyson is a Cyclops. So they have to team up to get this to search through the Golden Fleece, which is obviously a twist on the Jason and the Argonauts mythology, and go to the Sea of Monsters, hence the title of the movie, where the fleece is located. Now, this book was, everybody seems to agree, this was the lower one in the series. It's still an amazing book. I mean, the Sea of Monsters was an amazing book, but it's perhaps the lowest in terms of all the other books in the series. So this was going to be a very hard one to adapt to film because there's so much detail and there's so much stuff going on, and plus it's one of the weaker books. Secondly, it's still an amazing book, don't get me wrong, but secondly, they had to live up to the first one, so it doesn't take much to surpass that. So they were kind of able to do that, and wow, were they able to do it very well. Well, the first one did not follow the story of the book at all, and was just not a good film whatsoever. This is a really, really good movie. I really, really enjoyed it, and there's definitely some major flaws that really serve as a detriment to this movie, and I'm going to get into that. But first I want to talk about the good. The casting. The casting is tremendous. Some of it's carried over from the first film. Logan Lerman as Percy Jackson is the best Percy Jackson you could have found. He was in Perks of Being a Wallflower. He was amazing. And this one, he's amazing too. Alexandra Daddario in the first movie as Annabeth, I hated her, but for some reason, maybe it was just the blonde hair, she was like the perfect Annabeth in this movie. Grover, I know in the books he's described as white, but I've always pictured him black. Brandon E. Jackson, best Grover. Tyson, I'm not sure, because I always imagine him really falling fat with short hair. Who played him again? Oh, Douglas Smith. He was okay. He wasn't amazing, he wasn't bad. Stanley Tucci as Dionysus was hilarious. You only see Talia for about a minute in the movie, but Paloma Kowalski, however you pronounce that, as Talia was perfect casting based on visuals, because I haven't seen her character yet. Obviously, she's more of a character from the third film / book. But Clarice was done really well, played by Levin Raman. The only bad casting, I would say, is Jake Gyllenhaal as Luke. To me, Luke was nothing like that, and the way they may portray him in these movies are really, really bad, and that's one of the flaws. In the first movie, he sucks. Second movie, he sucks. One of my highlights of this movie was Nathan Fillion as Hermes, even though he was only in one scene. Oh my god, he made a Firefly reference. That just made my day. I just saw that scene, and I'm like, look over at my friend, and I'm just like, he made a Firefly reference. So that was just great. So with the good, there comes the bad, and the bad was very strong in this movie, though it was a very big detriment, but it wasn't too much of a detriment. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm gonna go for the minor flaws first. They were using an iPad. They were using cell phones. It's made clear in the book, in the Percy Jackson book series, when they use cell phones or anything with Wi-Fi, give signals to monsters which can attract them. I understand using the iPad in the behind the borders of the camp, which is still ridiculous because they're using it to research Greek mythology, which obviously they don't know because they are half human, half Greek god. So that's ridiculous. But secondly, someone used a cell phone blatantly, just like in the first movie, outside of camp, which is the stupidest thing you can do as a demigod, because the signal attracts monsters to come kill you, and monsters really want to kill you if you're a demigod, because you're basically like vermin to them. But other than that, I'm going to get into the major flaw of this movie is the final battle. I'm not going to spoil anything, but they screwed themselves for the rest of the series because they did something really, really stupid. And I'm not going to say why, but it just really, no. They basically put themselves in between a rock and a hard place because they're not going to be able to continue the series based on the dramatic. I thought the dramatic change that they did. I thought they did that with the first movie, but they were able to continue it fine. So who knows? They might do Titan's Curse much better, and I don't know. But this final battle is just complete and utter bullshit. So, back to the beginning of this film, I walk in, and I'm just like, this is gonna be bad, isn't it? Then they start playing pop music in the first scene of the movie, and I'm just like, this is gonna be very bad, isn't it? But no, it was very, very good, and I give it that compliment. The final battle took so much out of this movie just because of that final battle. And there was a death tease in there that I'm like, oh my god, if they kill off this character in this movie, I'm just gonna be like, walk out of the room. I'm not gonna spoil who. I was trying to walk around the room, and obviously it was a death tease, so they didn't actually die. So I was like, whew, okay. But so other than that, this was much better than the first movie. It definitely had some major and minor flaws, but it was huge step up. If you're a fan of the book, you won't be disappointed. You might be disappointed at some of the changes they made, but I mean, like, overall, you won't be disappointed because it's a pretty stellar book to movie adaptation. I was satisfied by this movie, except for the final battle, which was ridiculous garbage. But other than that, the CG was a little dated. I really didn't think. I feel like that they did better in The Lord of the Rings, which came out about 2001, so that was 12 years ago. And they were doing better CG then than they did now. This was cheap, low-grade CG, and that's something I didn't enjoy. But other than that, it was a very, very stellar movie, and I would definitely recommend it. I wouldn't give it so much, give it a 10 or even a 9, but I'm definitely going to give it an 8 out of 10. I would highly recommend it. It was a very, very huge step up. If you hated the first movie, you'll actually pretty much like this movie. If you love the first movie, this will be the best movie ever for you, because that's impossible to love that first movie. But, so yeah, 8 out of 10. Thanks guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys later.